I want to take this time to respond to the report by the Integrity Commissioner in order to address a number of areas in the report which I believe require clarification and explanation. I appreciate the time and the effort undertaken by the Integrity Commissioner, and I respect the process, even if I do not agree with her findings. I wrote the Integrity Commissioner with a detailed explanation of my objection to her conclusions, and I have submitted it as correspondence to her report. Today, I want to talk a little bit about why we are really here. In July of 2018, while campaigning for City Council, I met a woman who lives in Ward 7. She told me the story of how she lost her son in a pedestrian vehicle collision 2 years earlier. It was heartbreaking. I went home, I cried, and I hugged my kids, and I vowed then and there that I would do something to honor the death of that young man. And after speaking with thousands of other residents who identified traffic safety as their #1 issue, I started the Please Slow Down campaign. The city of Brampton is a neighborhood of neighborhoods. It's where we live, work, and play. But increasingly, pedestrian safety has become a very big issue, and that's because Brampton Streets is the place where we also get hit by cars. As a city councillor, I'm very aware of the urgent need to address this growing concern. Now, City Council did 4 important things to address the issue of pedestrian safety. 1, they passed the sign bylaw allowing signs of a public safety and order nature under section 8.4. 2, voted in favor of the Vision Zero plan. 3, asked staff to report on permanent traffic calming measures. And 4, voted to start the process for photo radar to be introduced in community safety zones. There's not one singular item that will put the brakes on pedestrian deaths. A police officer on every corner isn't an option. We don't want to live in a police state. And banning cars is not an option because we need our vehicles to transport kids, groceries, and grandparents. The residents who we represent want to have agency over their lives. They want to have some say in what happens in their own street and even on their own lawns. The residents I represent want to be partners with their civic leaders in making their community a better place to live, grow, and play. Please Slow Down signs are but one way for them to participate in partnership with their civic leaders. They work because you can't have community safety without community participation. I was driving through the streets of Toronto and I saw Please Slow Down signs everywhere. So if it's good enough for Mayor Tory, it's good enough for Brampton. And Brampton and Mississauga passed the same sign bylaw back in 2002. So if it's good enough for Hayes and McCallion, it's good enough for Brampton. Rule 13. Did Councillor Williams discourage public respect for the city and its bylaws via her sign campaign? The answer is no. Community safety signs on private property have been legal in the city of Brampton since 2002. I encourage residents to follow the bylaw and exercise their right under section 8.4 of the bylaw to put up Please Slow Down signs. If I encourage residents to do something that is allowed and legal, then I am, by any reasonable definition, encouraging respect for the bylaw and the city. City Council is supreme on these matters. City Council approved 8.4 of the City of Brampton sign bylaw, 399-2002. I followed City Council's direction and encouraged others to do the same. Your assertion that I took no steps to obtain from the city or city solicitor a legal opinion around whether the sign would indeed fall under the sign bylaw exemption discussed above relies on the false premise that the bylaw exemption is unclear, that I did not read it, or that I did not understand. All evidence in the private and public domain demonstrates my knowledge of the bylaw. My offer to pay fines was an act of confidence in the legality of the Please Slow Down campaign, meaning if residents followed Section 8.4 of the bylaw, there would be no fines. My self-confidence in this matter was proven to be correct. There have been no charges. As of January 28, 2020, the City of Brampton has finally communicated that the Please Slow Down signs and other safety signs on private property are legal under Section 8.4, and that has been in effect since 2002. Rule number 10. Did Councillor Williams fail to accurately communicate with the public respecting the sign campaign complaint? On Monday, October 21st, 2019, a young girl was hit by a car on a street where City of Brampton bylaw officers had allegedly removed Please Slow Down signs. I can't tell you how angry and upset I was by the notion that this accident occurred, and the residents were furious too. As a mother of 5 children, I can understand more than most how important the issue of traffic safety is to our communities. You have suggested that I failed to accurately communicate with the public respecting the sign campaign complaint. In support of your assertion, you have included an article from the Brampton Guardian dated October 29th, 2019. In my defense, I have included both a copy of the media release and the memo sent to you dated October 28th, 2019. The media release was both truthful and accurate. Councillors had complained to the Integrity Commissioner about the signs, even if those complaints were never formally launched. The Integrity Commissioner has not identified the names of the councillors who expressed opposition to the truthful messages I had delivered to the media. Rule number 18. Did Councillor Williams fail to adhere to council policies and procedures with respect to her sign campaign? The answer is no. The legal opinion posted on my website was produced in January of 2020. It was not produced to be provided to you as evidence in this complaint process. The media release that you referenced does not mention the Integrity Commissioner complaint or the process involved in any way whatsoever. It was posted on my website, www.pleaseslowdown.ca. The complaint was made in good faith by a resident who received the wrong information in a statement written by the Director of Strategic Communications. The Integrity Commissioner has acknowledged that it was out of her purview to determine the legality of Please Slow Down signs. The second component of the complaint was that I was selling signs to residents and pocketing the funds, an allegation for which there was no evidence because it was completely untrue. At that point, the Integrity Commissioner should have exercised her authority to dismiss the complaint completely. Ladies and gentlemen, the signs were legal. I told the truth. The residents were right. The city was wrong. And many residents believe the city owes them an apology for threatening to charge them. I serve the residents of Ward 7 and 8, and by extension, all residents of Brampton. So reprimanding me, even if only a verbal reprimand, will send the wrong message, that telling the truth will be punished. And in Brampton, the truth matters. Thank you for your consideration. And when this is over, we can go back to working to make Brampton an even better, safer place to live, grow, and play.